Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Province with Beautifully Loved. I'm so excited to be here today with Amina. Amina is an amazing cancer survivor that we met through Beautifully Loved and is part of our programs, and we love her so much. And Gary Spellman, who has come into our world, and we're so grateful. He does so many amazing things, from running for mayor of Austin to running an amazing cosmetics company and giving back in so many ways. We just feel really blessed that we are able to become friends with him and learn more about what he's doing for the community and people like us. So yeah, so we're here to just have like a fun conversation, learn more about Gary. Amina's going to be our amazing interviewer, and we're really excited to be here. So thanks for being with us.
Hello, my name is Amina Elam. I was diagnosed with a germinoma brain tumor in 2018, and I've been in remission for 3 years. And I am going to ask you questions.
Well, thank you, Amina.
My first question is, what was your push for like the founding / co-founding of Ultimate Face Cosmetics?
It was a necessity. When you go to the Paul Mitchell hair salons and you get your hair done, you come out and you want to match that new hair color with a new cosmetic, because the first place a woman goes after she gets her hair color done is to match the lipstick. So we figured we had the Paul Mitchell hair color, we just needed what went with it, and it's called the full circle of service. That way you don't have to go anywhere else after you leave your focus salon. You go right to that counter and you get your ultimate face.
Okay. Second, I love your brand's message of environmental consciousness, and I would like you to elaborate more on what that means to you.
Well, thank you, and I think everyone has to take that role and be environmentally conscious, because your generation won't have much to play around with if we don't as grown-ups. And we just mirror what John Paul Mitchell Systems does. And as you guys know, and you were probably too young when it started, but when Paul Mitchell started, we were one of the first companies to be cruelty-free, meaning we didn't test on animals. And that's part of our ethos. And now with Michaeline DeJoria, who is now the new CEO of Paul Mitchell, she's taken it even further to, recyclable plastics, to wind power, to solar power, to the raw ingredient decks. And that's why Ultimate Face does that, because when you're vegan free, you stand for all that. And we have a saying at both companies: it's not what you sell, it's what you stand for. So we stand for the environment and your future.
And if I'm allowed to interject here, one of the things that I've found doing Beautifully Loved, we do makeovers and beauty services, self-care, self-empowerment programs. But the thing that's always concerned me is that we have children that we are caring for that are going through treatments, life-saving treatments, and that makes their skin sensitive, or, we just have to be really careful what we put on them, just like what they put in their body. So having cosmetics that are, safe, non-toxic, all these things, I think is so important, and something that has made me personally appreciate it even more. So thank you for doing that for me and for beautiful kids like Amina.
Well, you're welcome.
Okay, so I read that you like to race mountain bikes.
Yes, ma'am.
And I was wondering, when and how did you get into that?
I got into that because I was too poor to afford a car, and I had to ride a bicycle. No. So it was out of a sense of necessity. I love it because it's my dirt church, is what we call it. We get out in the woods and you get to be part of the planet. You get to interact with your environment. You're doing something healthy. You're not in front of your phone or your laptop or your iPad. You're actually communing with nature. And when you get out there, you kind of feel small, and you realize that there's a bigger planet than what's in front of you. And then you'll see baby deer, or you'll see a possum or something that you go, wow, that's awesome. And then you realize that if I don't make a difference to keep it clean and healthy, then the planet will go away. And mountain biking is just something I get to do with my friends and my son all the time, who's about your age, and he loves to ride mountain bikes.
Okay. In Beautifully Loved, we have a saying that brave is beautiful. I want to know what being beautiful means to you.
Beautiful to me is what you embody: courage, faith, strength, a love for your mom and dad. I got the pleasure of meeting your mom, and she's a beautiful soul. And you can tell what you put into something is what will come out, and that's why you're a beautiful soul, because you can tell you've been loved, you've been nurtured, you've been encouraged. And then when you go to some place like Beautifully Loved, where they do the same thing, I was talking to someone, you went to a self-esteem class when you first had your chemotherapy. What was that like?
It was fun. At first I was nervous coming in because, one, I'd never done anything like that, and two, I was pretty self-conscious because, I got thrown into the whole mess. My hair fell out. Actually, the hair wasn't very bothering to me. What bothered me was my eyebrows and my eyelashes.
How'd you look with no eyebrows?
Kind of weird. And going to that self-esteem workshop actually really helped me, not only with the new self-consciousness I had gained from that, but also from previous experiences in my life.
Excellent. So we both share the same beautiful definition.
Yes.
Am I beautiful?
Yes.
I feel pretty today.
Your
You got good
is
hair.
nice.
It's Paul Mitchell there.
Oh, that's why. Shout out Paul Mitchell.
Another question is, how do your products benefit the community?
Well, it's a give back. The other thing we like to say is purpose before profit. So you'll look at why we support Beautifully Loved and donating cosmetics to the
The
kiosk.
hospital, the hospital cards.
That's one of our new programs where Paul Mitchell and Ultimate Face gave back. Then you look at all the other things. When you're looking when you go through something that's devastating and your outer beauty has a lot to play with your confidence. If we can help in any small way, we'll always do that. Or like when we source marula oil to put in our balm, it helps the community in Africa sustain its economy. It's one of those times where it's great, but it's not the dollars. It's the purpose of which. So we look at Ultimate Face as a vehicle, and this is what John Paul taught me is this big, beautiful company is our vehicle that helps us do good in the world. Because to do good in the world is like paying your rent on being on the planet. So you pay your rent to be here by doing good. And you've done good. So how do you feel when you do good?
Good.
Right? It feels awesome. Right? I bet. Would you rather get a present or give a present?
Both.
That's my girl.
Yeah, well, and if it's okay for me to interject again, one of the things I was reading on the Ultimate Face Cosmetics website is your 3 core missions were education, fashion, and philanthropy. And our 3 core missions are wellness, beauty, and fashion, and we are a philanthropy. So I just felt like, oh my gosh, he gets it. And one of the things that I was struggling when I was deciding whether or not to start the nonprofit is, will people understand makeovers? Will people understand haircuts? Will people understand lipstick? Will people understand that, and will they support it? Was the biggest thing, because in order for us to be sustainable, people have to believe in our mission. And I just didn't know, and I went ahead and made a jump, and then all of a sudden we were busy right away. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, there is so much power. Inner beauty, of course, is most important, but there's so much power in feeling beautiful. So whether you get a new haircut or get your nails done or get your makeup done, there's so much power in a little lipstick, is what I like to say. And it's so important that we take care of ourselves and look good and feel good. And I feel like that's what Ultimate Cosmetics is about too. It's about empowering people through lip gloss, there's just a lot of power in lipstick. Let me just say that.
The power of lip gloss.
The power of lip gloss, or some good hair. So I do appreciate a lot that y'all focus on giving back, in the same time making people feel beautiful, because that's what Beautifully Loved is. So we have such a high appreciation for you guys.
We kind of do this, don't we?
Yeah. We're in the same boat, I think.
Okay. Your shirt says vote purple. I want you to elaborate on what that means.
You want me to elaborate what vote purple means?
Yes.
It comes in, this is Eloise and my wife Lori. They're the color people who make the pretty colors. When you mix a red and a blue, you get a purple. So when you take a Republican and a Democrat, their colors are red and blue. You mix them together, you get purple. So when you look at what's going on in the country, and as a young person, you're seeing all this divisiveness where people aren't getting along. If you're a Republican, you can't be friends with a Democrat. In reality, most people are in the middle, like your mom and I were talking about earlier. It's the people in the middle that are being ignored. We're not extreme, and we don't say mean things to each other. So if you want to be a Democrat, that's great. We like you. But if you want to be a mean Democrat, you can't hang out with us. And if you're a nice Republican, you can hang out with us. But if you're a mean Republican, out. We'll vote you right off the island. So in the middle is where all the best ideas come. Think about it, school. If you're talking with your friends and there's all these different ideas to how to get the kickball down off the gymnasium roof or whatever it is, it's going to be better if you all contribute, right? Instead of one bossy person. We all know the bossy person, right?
Yeah.
So that's it. That's why it's more important that we represent a voice of all people, all ideas from both sides.
Well, that answers my next question, which was that I love your emphasis on cooperation in your campaign, and my question was going to be, how do you think your campaign is going to help the recent extreme divide and extreme polarization of political parties?
Wow, that's a good question. And it's basically what I just said, but I would like to, if it's possible, because you're the next generation, do you like how I'm going to help get it together?
Yes.
What would you do to make it better? See, it's
Honestly,
already working. Me and you will be in purple right now.
I would definitely put emphasis on the good parts of each party, the highlights, rather than focusing on what the other party's faults are or what they've done bad. Just bring together for good.
Yep. See that, America? We're starting the purple grassroots movement right now with this lovely young lady.
That's amazing.
Okay. Our Beautifully Loved programs are built to empower and encourage self-love as a part of healing. As an ambassador for Paul Mitchell Schools, what do your programs aim to do for their students as they enter the beauty world?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. And since day one, that was John Paul and Win Claybaugh. They formed the schools together. Their mission was to make sure everyone felt included. Inclusiveness, diversity, love. So when you go to the schools, you'll see every walk of life, from the pink hair to the purple hair to the gay to the straight to the non-binary to the binary. I mean, everyone's is welcome. And how we prepare them for the world is you get a great education on how to be the best hairdresser possible. That way, when you leave the Paul Mitchell schools, you know how to do hair, you know how to do makeup, you know how to do business. But the most important thing you learn there is how to be part of your community, how to give back, and understand that as a member of this business community or the hairdressing community, our obligation is to make the world a better place, especially in our neighborhoods. So that's what we want. Kids like you who understand, like based on your questions, you understand this and you want this, and your next generation, like my son, wants this. They don't want any more fighting. So when you go to a Paul Mitchell school, that's what you get, which has been the Paul Mitchell culture since I've been around. John Paul and Paul started it that way. It's like they were one of the first companies to say everyone's welcome as long as you're not a butthead. Nobody likes to hang out with buttheads, right? Yeah. Buttheads make the day longer. They complain a lot. They don't do a lot, but they complain more than they do. And it's all about purpose before profit.
And I will say too, you know, having Beautifully Loved and working, I work all year long pretty often with beauty professionals, so hairstylists, nail people, makeup, and they contribute so much to our world in Beautifully Loved and do so much good and have such a purpose that, like, I just want to make a shout out to Paul Mitchell Schools and the students out there. They do have a purpose and they do amazing things, and they do give power back to people. They give them their self-confidence, and that's, you know, what Beautifully Loved strives to do. But that is exactly what Paul Mitchell students are doing. Their purpose is bigger than they even understand, and I just want to say thank you to all of them for
thank you for saying
for doing what they're doing. Yeah.
And my last question is, thank you for supporting Beautifully Loved, and that why do you think it's important to support organizations, whether local or big, like Beautifully Loved?
Because it sends a message to the rest of the community. And it's kind of funny, like Rudy, who's the cameraman and the producer of this, the film guy, he was at a bunch of the events that we've done before, the Republic of Texas Rally, the Peace, Love, and Happiness motorcycle ride. And a lot of people don't know about us because you do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And if more people see that, and that's been the mission of Peace, Love, Happiness since day one, is to encourage people like yourself to get involved, to do what's important. So back to the schools, when they ask me, oh, we want to help support Peace, Love, Happiness. And I say the best way you can support Peace, Love, Happiness is to support something in your community. Because Tuesday I did a big thing for the mayor campaign, and it was 5 of the candidates on stage with about 104 of the nonprofits in Austin under this One Voice umbrella. And all the candidates were talking about how it's important that they stay involved and they can be part of these other organizations because they make the community better. When you give, like we talked about, you feel better. Well, if you have a society, or just take Austin, if all the Austinites, if we just moved the needle 10%, and 10% more people got involved with Beautifully Loved, what would that mean?
A lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff, right? And when they see this interview, they're going to see your infectious smile. Your smile lights up a room. A chaise lights up a room. And you know why? Because you're doing good. And it feels good. And that's the whole lifestyle that we promote. And whether it's Ultimate Face, Peace, Love, Happiness, Beautifully Loved, any one of those places, or Ultimate Face Cosmetics and Paul Mitchell in the schools, if you promote that, you'll start with a core that's happy and solid and not looking for something. What do I get for this? No, if you ask what you get for it, then you've already missed the boat. Because you should be feeling what you already get. Look at your smile now. How good does this feel, right? We're rocking. I feel like I'm talking to Oprah here.
Yes. Well, and one of the things too I love about your mayor campaign is you're not taking any money, and the money that people donate to your campaign, you donate it right back to the community. And we have been lucky to be one of your beneficiaries. You gave us $10,000 at our recent fashion show, which, you know, for some people may not be much, but to us it was so much. And we're so grateful for that moment, and for you seeing us and understanding, you know, what we're trying to do for, you know, kids like Amina, or young ladies like Amina, and their families. Because, you know, one of the things I read about you, I did a little research, was that you grew up with a big family, and you kind of had to work your way up to where you are today. And that takes, I know, so much resilience and hard work. And I was, you know, talking to Amina and her mom, and I was like, you know, that kind of relates to, you know, our warrior families, or any family or child going through a diagnosis. You know, it takes resilience and strength to walk through that journey. Not that they want to be that strong, but they have to be that strong. So I feel like, you know, you have an understanding of what, you know, it means to work hard, means to have strength, means to have faith, and to promote self-care and self-love and self-worth through all the things that you're doing, and all the things that we receive from you is amazing. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for sitting with us. Thank you for seeing us, supporting us. I know you support a lot of people and do a lot of great things in the community. But like I said, you know, we're a smaller nonprofit. We're trying to, right now we're hiring a therapist. Somehow we'll make it. So we have full-time mental health care for children and their families. And, you know, we have 12 programs. We're little, but we do big things, and we couldn't do it without people like you. And you've been such a blessing. So we just wanted to be with you today, and thank you. And yeah, thank you so much.
You guys made my day. I've been bragging about this. Like I said, I called John Paul and Eloise. My wife was like, "Why are you so excited?" I'm like, "I'm talking to you." But the coolest thing is how we were talking about your kiosks. And so you understand how my world works. My world, I'm very blessed. I have wonderful friends who have hearts like mine. They want to give back. So you asked us to make kiosks, and that's for the kids in the
hospital.
Yep.
Yeah, we have 2 hospitals.
And so I picked up the phone. I called Michaeline DeJory, the CEO of Paul Mitchell. I said, "Listen, I got this great cause we've been supporting. It's called Beautifully Loved." She didn't even let me finish. She goes, "What do you want, and when can I get it to you?" And that's the kind of people we are, because she supports so many different things. It's like Baby First. That's LA, where they give diapers and things to needy families. And if you start with a circle of friends, because you're young now and you're grown into this fabulous young lady, who you surround yourself will dictate how happy you are, because that can happen sometimes. You get, like we talked about earlier, sometimes you get confused, and that's why they say the devil's a great salesperson, because he convinced he didn't exist, right? So the bad people sometimes get into your life, but be wary of anyone who doesn't have your heart. Because once they get on your heart, never give up your smile, because your smile, like I said, lights up a room, and your heart is a reflection of your smile. So when you go out in that real world, and if anyone gives you a little, you call me, and me and my boy will be there.
Yes.
Don't you worry, we'll come a-running. And it's been an honor and privilege to be part of you guys, and I'm so happy that Joe reached out to me. And you know, shout out to Joe and her husband on their birthday. But love this girl. Come on,
I cannot wait. I love all of our kids so much, and they all bring such different perspectives and uniqueness and beauty to. I just love them. They're like, I know I started Beautifully Loved to help them, but they've done so much more for me than I could ever do for them, and teach me so much. And don't make me, I feel like I'm gonna cry. But I cannot wait to see what Amina's gonna do with her life. Like, Amina has, you know, she's, you know, a brain cancer survivor, but she always smiling, always positive. Like, these kids it's such an inspiration, and I cannot wait to see what she does with her life. She's gonna be running our company one day. Like,
look what she's doing now.
I know.
My first mayoral interview was with Amina. I mean, there's like people waiting for this, and you get it because of that smile. I love it. thank you both for coming and doing this. Like I said, I'm just thrilled, and it's an honor to be here.
Yes, well, we're here to support you back, and good luck with everything. And hopefully, I know you said one time, when we first met, that now we're part of your family, which I was very touched by. But you're absolutely part of our family, so you're not getting rid of us.
Before we go, remember, go to spellmanformayor.org. And like we talked about, I don't take any money. So if you want to donate on behalf of my campaign to Beautifully Loved, you can make a nice donation. If you want the world to be a better place, if you want people like Ashay to go on to get more kids involved and do more good, and if you want Amina to pursue her career in broadcasting, college isn't cheap. That's all I'm saying. But please, all kidding aside, go to the website, do something good, spellmanformayor.org, and you can have a smile like mine for the rest of the day. How'd it go?
That was so good. High five, everyone.
One take
I
wonder,
loved
right?
it.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
That was good.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm getting goosebumps.
Oh, yeah.